So now that you've watched the video of the teacher who thinks on her feet when a lesson fails, I just wanted to go over some quick tips and tricks that you can think about if this ever does happen to you. And it's not really if it does happen, it's just a matter of when. So just know that you have to know the warning signs. Make sure you read the students as they enter the classroom. What's their mood like? If students are having a rough day, you're gonna have to probably find some ways to make the lesson engaging. Think on your feet. You're gonna have to make sure you make changes based on the moods of your different classes. Think about if students are focused on other conversations or are they answering questions incorrectly. So if you're asking them to do group work and they're focused on other conversations, or if they're constantly giving you the answers that you weren't looking for, this could be a sign of not understanding the concept or activity, and you're gonna have to think about how you can make sure that students understand the things that they need to be doing. You also wanna consider possible causes for disconnect. Was it because the students weren't interested in a lesson? Discuss with the colleagues ways to keep students engaged. You're not in this alone. Find a partner that you can work with. Maybe a particular student was disruptive. If that's the case, then you need to talk to that student, come up with intervention strategies, meet with them one-on-one, figure out what's going on and why they are disruptive. Is it, again, maybe because they weren't engaged? Maybe there's something else going on and there's things that you can do to mitigate that. And maybe it was the climate of your class was leaning more towards fun than learning when you wanted both. You can discuss with a colleague or reflect on ways to make class expectations clear. It's great that we have fun in the classroom, but if the fun takes over the learning, then there's something that needs to be changed. So you want to think about ways that you can have fun while also learning, and colleagues can help you with that, or reflect on ways that you can make the expectations of that assignment more clear. Here are some quick solutions for you to think about after you've recognized some of the warning signs and you've recognized why things happened. Pause for a minute, regroup. Think about how you might quickly turn the lesson around and stay calm. You know, we talked about before the way about we want to make sure that we let our students take risks in the classroom. If we let our students take risks in the classroom, one of those things is to admit when we make mistakes. Take a minute and pause, regroup, let your students know that things aren't working out for you and you've got to make sure that we're all on the same page. You've got to think about a better way to handle this. You can also think about chunking your lessons. Make sure that there's check-in points. Don't try to give all of the material all at once. I've seen some people who, after every couple of slides, if they know they're gonna have a long lecture, they insert a meme that has totally unrelated to anything that they're talking about to give people a chance to pause, to think, reflect, and ask questions. So that way it's not just you talking the whole time. That's a strategy that you could use. You can do writing check-in points, you can do exit tickets, you can do all kinds of things, but do periodic check-ins if you're gonna have a longer activity. You can adjust activities, simplify your instructions, maybe take it back a step. Or maybe there's things that are too easy and your students are really just clicking with it and you're like, man, this is going a lot faster than I thought. Skip some of the simpler tasks that students are really already grasping and move on to more challenging activities. Thinking about how you can maybe go higher up on that Bloom's taxonomy if that's something that you are connected to. And use the students. You know, challenge the student who gets it really quickly, or coax the shy kid into saying something. Use your students to your benefit. That's what they're there for. Always, always, always have backup activities ready. Think about things you might use as starters that can be used at any point in a lesson, so that way you can regroup or rethink ideas. Always have something else ready to go. There shouldn't be much downtime. And lastly, something that we do in this class a lot is reflect. Lessons fail. It happens. It happens to everybody. It happens to me still. It happens to every teacher in every level all the time. And don't entirely blame your students. Sometimes it's something that you didn't do well. Just because your students were unruly and disruptive and weren't engaged in the lesson doesn't mean that it's on the students. It could also be on you. So focus on what you could have done better and try to learn from the experience. Overall, we really just have to know to think on our feet and change things as they go. We have this, always have a beautiful plan laid out. But remember, like we talked about at the beginning of the semester, that our lesson plans and our unit plans are really just a blueprint. And sometimes things have to shift and change based on our needs. So use the blueprint, but don't be afraid to change things as you go.